What exactly is music theory? It might not be what you think, at least not exactly, so let me explain. Most people are told that it's music notation, this medieval man-made system of blotches and squiggles that is stuffy and complicated, but it's not. Music theory is not music notation. They're not the same, and I'll show you why. To answer the question, what is music theory, you have to know what music itself is, which is basically organized sound. Unlike noise or chaotic sound, music has order, it's organized sound. And that's why music is sometimes described as a language, not just because it's a way to communicate ideas, but because there's also a structure or syntax to music. And the logic or grammar of this language is music theory. But here's where it gets more interesting, because the word theory comes from the Greek theoria, which means to look at, view, speculate, or see. But if music is sound and sound is invisible, then the term literally means to look at the invisible, which is a contradiction in terms, right? So how is that even possible? Well, it's not by using the confusing symbols of traditional notation that look more like Braille for the blind than an actual window into the inner workings of music. And it's not by using finger charts or diagrams either, which also look like Braille. I mean, you couldn't read the description of a painting that was written in Braille and say that you have this clear picture that came into focus, right? So there's actually a more direct way to picture the patterns of music, and it's by using color. Using the natural patterns of sight, color, to picture the otherwise invisible patterns of sound, music. You don't just slap the two together as a crutch to memorize note patterns. I'm not talking about some kind of kiddie play school method. I mean seriously, because color and music actually follow the same patterns. They are the same pattern, only one is visible while the other is audible. They're just two languages that tell the same story and are really one and the same. There's just a twist because of this cool connection between a pattern called the circle of fifths, which explains how all the notes in music are related, and the 12 notes of the chromatic scale, which is the source of all patterns in music, including scales, modes, chords, and progressions. And by using the natural geometry of color, you can see the patterns, logic, and syntax of music, also known as music theory or visible sound. So you can jump from the piano to the guitar and really any instrument and know what you're doing because you can actually see it. It is music theory by definition.